Google it, you'll find it all. Usually, a lot of the divorces that happens immediately after the romance stage, the moment reality dawns. You know, oh, I love him. He has the kind of chest, he has the kind of legs, he has the kind of hair, he has the kind of car. And after all of that is over, and it's time to now settle down to real life. And it's like, no, I didn't bargain for this. I'm opting out. I'm going out of it. That's why you see a lot of people, just immediately after their honeymoon phase is over, they are hitting the divorce cord. They want to get out of the relationship, because as the conflicts of realities begin to arise, the wisdom, the patience, the ability to develop the process of accepting the realities of what their spouses are into, either by profession, because sometimes some people see somebody up on the stage, I love that star, I love this footballer, I love him, I love her, and they just, get attracted. And with that romantic gesture, they glide for a year or 2 years. By the time they now settle to their real life, they say, no, I can't cope with this. No. There's just no way I can cope with this. So they begin to opt out because of reality. But after the reality stage is the rearing stage. The rearing stage talks about when some critical new realities come, especially, let me put it all up for us. Especially when kids begin to arrive, and the responsibilities that are coming are piling. All of that changes the equation. A baby always changes everything. Always changes everything. The affection of the mother is now divided. I've seen some men who are jealous when they see that their wives are not giving sufficient attention to them, but directing everything to the baby. It's like, what is happening in this house? What's happening? Now, the truth of the matter is, the rearing stage, focus is redefined. Affections are divided. Attention is divided. Everything, increases the stress level. I mean, the multitasking ability increases. You nurture this, you take care of this, you take care of that, so naturally your romantic gesture diminishes. And very often times when people don't know how to handle this, you discover that is when, oftentimes, go check the stats. That's when a lot of strain happens for many men folks. A lot of strain. Because again, the truth of the matter is that it's not only women that have deep needs for affection. Men have it also. And so, for some who don't have the capacity to be able to transition or understand and deal with this stage, they now seek that needed affection outside. And there are always people willing to give you another romantic stage. So in the mind of the man, if it's not well taken care of, you discover that the tendency to stray is very high in this region. So what do you do then? Before they look at it. What do you do then? What you need to do now is, because there is reduced intimacy, you now need to do some things. Number one, you need to develop patience. For the rearing stage, you need to be very patient. Patient with your spouse. Patient with the fact that it's a transition stage. You that like everything well ordered and organized, when you go to a lot of bachelor parties, everything is just in place. But the moment the baby comes and there is need for occasional, help or support here and there, the whole house is a bit rearranged. Some men now have excuse to stay 2 hours extra to work. Just wanted to come back home and hit the bed. Not wanting to be a part of all the challenge of the crying baby, the diaper change, and all the noise. Some people just can't cope with that transition. And that's not right. What to do in this season is to develop patience. Number one. Number two is to now begin to engage in planning. Everything has to be planned. We have to plan, including planning your time of sex. Planning it. Why is that so? If you don't plan it, what will result is negativity. You become negative to your spouse. And it develops gradually. It develops. That is why another stage at which people oftentimes find themselves drifting apart from their spouses is when they have an emptiness together. The reason is simple. The negativity that began to develop as a result of one party thinking that there is a drifting apart kept increasing. That cleavage kept increasing, and they begin to drift apart so much that when they now experience an emptiness, they find it difficult to come back together. So what to do in this season is to plan. Everything's got to be planned. We have to plan it out in such a way to reduce stress. We have to plan in such a way we cannot have, the kind of, intimacy we used to enjoy at a romantic stage. We've got to be patient. This period will also pass away. We've got to understand and deal with this issue. But whatsoever you do, here is a stage at which you must avoid negativity. You just must avoid it. You just must avoid it. Very important. One pastor told us once that he used to say to his baby, whenever the baby used to suck, the breast, say, you look at the baby and say, you better grow up and marry your own wife. This one is my own wife. We've got to be patient. We must avoid negativity so that it doesn't build up to become something else. The next stage, very quickly, is the relevant stage. Relevant stage. Now, this is a stage at which the natural instinct to catch up begins to arise. A spouse, whether as male or as female, you have expended your time, you have expended your resources to raise up children. And the children are beginning to come to their own, whereby they can do a lot of things and they don't need all your detailed timing. It's time for you now to start saying, I have a life to live also. I have a profession to pursue. That is where you see mothers especially, they rack up their certificates, they dust up their desires, and they want to pursue something. They want to start a business, they want to start a company, they want to pick up their desires. They just want to accomplish something. Why? Because I too didn't just come to live my life for other people. And I see that all the time. In fact, I see some even in this house. People who have done some rearing and the children are beginning to survive on their own. They say, okay, it's time for me to now determine some relevance, whether as male or as female. You've expended so much, you now want to build up afresh. Because a wise man at the previous stage to this, which is the rearing stage, will expend time, will expend resources, will expend affection to build up the children, to build up his or her family. Why? Because you need that investment to get them going properly in life. So by the time they come to a point where you think that, oh yes, they are catching it, they are standing, and with less supervision and less input, less and less input, they can survive, then you now want to transit to the next stage, which is the stage at which you want to do some catching up. Now, this stage emphasizes very critically a lot of self-interest. A lot of self-interest. A lot of self-interest. There's really nothing wrong with it. The only thing is that it has to be done in such a way that it does not compel negative reaction. It takes a lot of maturity. I've seen situations at this stage where when a man, no, especially the woman, permit me, now wants to be a bit assertive, wants to be of her own, wants to own something, wants to control something, wants to invest her passion, her skill, her education, her natural abilities to pursue a career or something that will bring some personal satisfaction. If her spouse does not understand, it can lead to contention. It can lead to disagreement and say, what's this all about? I mean, I thought we were satisfied. I thought it's all... No. Each individual has a personal vision. And it's imperative that we understand that a stage will come where they believe that they've done enough to stabilize, invest in the family, and it is time for them to also achieve something. Can I have anybody connect with that? Yeah, very real. Very real. I mean, I deal with this very often times as a pastor. When somebody comes, I don't understand. I thought I'm working, I'm doing this. She wants to. We just must understand that at a particular stage in life, somebody needs to catch up. I went to school also. I have a natural gift. I have a natural desire. It's okay to be blessed, but at the same time, I want to be able to express myself, utilize my natural gifting and endowment and ability to produce something that gives me a sense of self-satisfaction, a sense of self-pride. And wise men and wise women should promote that. Promote them, support them, because you still remain members of the same team. You are not separated. All right, so in this stage of relevance, what to do is avoid negative reactions, number one. Avoid negative reactions. Don't react negatively to the desire of a spouse to own, to accomplish, to pursue, or to do something. Number 2, always ensure you avoid internal resentment. Sometimes people may not react negatively, but then they resent the very idea. They oppose the very idea. Their spouse does not exactly have their full blessing and support. And by so doing, they build up again some internal poisoning that will always lead to a burst out sometime along the line. The next stage, very quickly, is the rationing stage. The rationing stage. What is this stage? The moment we proceed on the relevant stage and our careers begin to blossom, and responsibilities begin to blossom, the next thing that happens is that our commitments deepen. And when our commitments deepen, because by reason of the business, by reason of this pursuit, sometimes it's even education. Someone says, okay, that education I couldn't finish. Now I want to go back to it. That's during the relevant stage. Something to catch up with. A business, a job, a habit, a sport, a travel, something exciting. And by the time that begins to happen and blossom, what happens is that there's usually a deepening of commitment. Because having started, you want the thing to succeed. You want the thing to thrive. You want the thing to blossom. So you give it more time, you give it more time, you give it more time. So in doing this, you now discover that it's become more like a business approach. It's become a business approach. Everything at home becomes very business-like. All the things at home is now planned, prim and proper, You arrange everything now works with some clockwise efficiency. Otherwise, there is no way you can meet your business and the blossoming of your career. Am I connecting? Amen. Because at that stage, things have improved. More demands have come upon you. You want things to succeed. You also have a home to keep. So your commitments have deepened. So how do you survive in order to ensure that love, romance, is not killed altogether? Very simple. Number 1, let there be matured discussions. We must sit down like matured people who will truly are at this stage and discuss. The types of discussions this time have shifted. Our deepening commitments, our blossoming issues, which is also responsible for blossoming bills and commitment to the thing, demands that we now begin to do the next role assignment. We now begin to assign, okay, by virtue of where you are and what is happening, let's define clearly how we intend to accomplish what still remains our corporate goals. That is when people now begin to sit down and discuss role assignment and deal with all of that, remembering that there's still a family that needs to be dealt with, or a business that must prosper. When we were coming in the car, I was saying to my wife that, I think I know the stage that we are in. And I said, in the course of the teaching, I will mention it. I think we are between the relevance and the rationing stage right now. All of that, I see all of that playing out in our family. The relevance and the rationing stage is actually ongoing right now, because there's a need to accomplish a lot of things. And I am for it. I don't have a problem. I'm one of those that is not intimidated by the success of anybody. Talk less my spouse. I rather celebrate it, promote it, and project it, and invest whatever I have into it. Amen. So this rationing stage requires, again, mature discussions. We discuss. So how is it going to be? There's something to be pursued. I mean, the kind of pursuit that is on me right now, for instance, requires this understanding. Otherwise, it's not going to work. If I don't have a spouse who understands the stage I'm in right now, it's going to be very problematic for me. And these are like life pursuit. This is like who I am, what I'm born to become or to accomplish. So here is the rationing stage. So there must be mature discussions. There must be role assignments. Who is meant to effect this? Who is meant to accomplish this? Roles must be assigned, understanding clearly taken, and responsibilities, assumed. Of course, let's go to the 6th stage, the reunion stage. The reunion stage is the stage of the empty nest. When the children, you kick them out of the house. You marry them out or you escort them out. Any way you do it, they go out. empty nest. This is also the stage at which we rediscover love. Ideally, this should be the stage when, you just want to hold hands with your spouse and travel the world, rediscover some things. And remind yourself of a number of things. This is the stage at which appreciation is re-established. This is the stage at which friendship is what? Is renewed. The reunion stage. This is a stage of real matured love. You are now back together. Where it might be wise to downsize your house from a 7-bedroom home to a 3-bedroom home because you want less people at home right now. So it will just be 2 of you afresh to rediscover the passion, the love, the excitement. Ideally, because after the rationing stage and relevant stage where you are finally proving to yourself that I could do something and you have done it, what next? The only thing to prove again is to get back home and re-establish and reconnect with the spouse of your life and just renew friendship. Now, what do you do in this season? This is a season to become co-seekers. In the relevance and rationing stage, you are operating almost individual concepts where you want to prove to yourself that you too, you have a vision, you have an ability, you want to accomplish something of your own. But in the reunion stage, you are coming back together. That is the stage you worship together more often. That's the stage you travel together more often. That's the stage you reconnect together. That's the stage you think together. That's the stage you want to start ensuring that you are rebonding in order to reconnect. That's the reunion stage. Then of course the 7th stage, very quickly, is the round-up stage. Of course you know that every good thing will always come to an end one way or the other. My prayer is that our marriages will go through the round-up stage. Let nothing truncate it midway. That's my prayer for us, because it's a stage where you wind down. For the unbelievers, is the stage where the man tells the woman, you say, honey, the truth of the matter is that I have a child you never knew. And the woman say, what? A lot of that happens. Yeah. Not for Christians, so maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'm talking to believers here right now, because we should have opened up down the way. But at this winding down stage, this is the stage where you are truly, truly winding down in every sense of the word. You're winding down your commitments, you're winding down the business, you're winding down your responsibility, you are just slowing down on every sphere. You are handing over and seeing your children or your words or your successors literally take over all the things that you have lived for. You want to stay back. You are not more, inclined to relaxing and not being in the forefront. This is a season where you pass your final appreciations. You really want to do the right thing. Look at your spouse almost every now and then and tell him or tell her you were the best part of my journey in life. Amen. I couldn't have come this far without you. I really need you to hear it. I really need you to know it. This is a stage at which, we do a lot of that. This is also the stage of reliving of memories. Oh, you remember when we used to run around and all of that? All the nice things you did, all the escapades, all the things you did. Relive the memories. Just relax. Because in itself, it's very therapeutic. It has a way of healing. It has a way of releasing you of all the pressures of this, latter stage in life. So